Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a very, very, very important statement in the Quran. In Surah Almaidah. And I'm conscious that I'm not speaking only to this audience here, but I'm speaking to a lot of critics of mine on the internet around the world. So would they also listen carefully? It is in Surah Al-Ma'idah, and he says, بَعَدْ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ لَتَجِدَنَّ, which is fi'l mudariya, which means present and future. Present and future. You will most certainly find, emphasis, you will most certainly find, now and in the future, what will you find? Now and in the future. أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ عَدَاوَةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الْيَهُودِ, that the Jews would be the most hostile of all people to those who have faith in this Quran. But that did happen in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Oh yes, the Jews were the most hostile. وَالَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, and in addition to the Jews, there were another people who were also the most hostile of all to the Muslims. And those were the people who were in shirk, the kuffar of Mecca. They had hostility and enmity and hatred easing out of their heads. They were so hostile. So this came to pass at that time. The Quran goes on to say that at the same time, when this is taking place, the greatest hatred and enmity and hostility, these two people, at the same time you'll find something else. Now and in the future. What? وَلَتَجِدَنَّ, and you will most certainly find now and in the future, أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى, that you will most certainly find now and in the future that those who will be closest in love and affection for you Muslims would be a people who say, we are Christians. Now, nothing happens in the Quran by accident. Allah did not say, He did not say that you will most certainly find those who will be closest in love and affection to you would be Christians. He didn't say that. What did He say? He said, you will most certainly find those who will be closest in love and affection for you would be a people who say, we are Christians. Notice the language. Be careful. Nothing happens in this Quran by accident. The manner in which this statement is made is very important. ذلك بأن منهم القسيسين والرهبان وأنهم لا يستكبرون. And the reason why you will find these people to be closest in love and affection for you at the time when they have the greatest hatred and hostility for you is because they have priests amongst them. Authentic priesthood. The institution of the priesthood has been preserved amongst them. And they have monasticism, the monastery and the monks. And the institution of monasticism has been Rahbaniyah, has been preserved amongst them. وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ, and they are not an arrogant people. They are not an arrogant people. Arrogance Oh yes, we have a story by which we can know what is arrogance. Because he said, I am not going to bow and make sajda. No, sir. So Allah said, why not? When I ordered you to make sajda, why did you not make sajda, Iblis? And his reply was, I was created superior. My birthright is superiority. I am superior to him. I am white, he is black, so I am superior. I am rich, he is poor, so I am superior. I am tall, he is short, so I am superior. I am Malay, he is Indian, so I am superior. Shall I continue? Or should I stop now? That's arrogance. Anyone who believes that he is superior to another by virtue of birthright is arrogant. And when you are arrogant, out of Jannah. Get out. There is no place for arrogance in Jannah. So we know a thing or two about arrogance. Huh? And they are not an arrogant people. So now the question arises, who are these Christians? Who are these Christians? Schoolboy. The schoolboy says Allah is referring to all the Christians. So even George Bush and company in Washington and Obama and Holland and all these fellows in Germany and France, they will all become closest in love and affection for you Muslims, says the schoolboy. Because you know the schoolboy is not following proper methodology. If he was following proper methodology, he would see, no, that Christianity out there, the institution of the priesthood is falling apart. Many priests are in jail. And many others are not in jail because the Pope will not reveal the information. They make a deal. The institution of priesthood is losing its respect. People losing respect for the priests in the Western world. No. So many priests are pedophiles. And monasticism is no longer there, it's gone. In the Western Christian world, the monastery is now, yes, McDonald's hamburgers and Pizza Hut. That's what the monastery, and a bingo hall. But on this side, the Orthodox Christian world, the institution of the priesthood has survived. The priest still has a status of high esteem and respect in the society. The priest still plays a significant role in the affairs of the society. And monasticism is still alive. The monasteries are held in great respect and very great love in that part of the world. Monasticism is still there. The schoolboy should have asked himself, can Allah be referring to these Christians as a people who are not arrogant? Western Christianity, which says of itself that we are a people who have been created by Allah, superior to the rest of the world. And we had to send our armies all over the world, including Malaya, and colonize the rest of the world in order to civilize them. Yeah. We had to civilize mankind. This is our mission in the world. This is arrogance. And we expect all of mankind to copy our way of life and become carbon copies of ourselves. So when we shave off the beard, then the sensible and intelligent and cultured and civilized thing for a Malay to do is shave off his beard, and a Pakistani to do is to shave off his beard, and an Arab. an Arab to do is to shake off his beard, yeah? And when our women take off the head covering, the civilized thing to do is to take off your head covering. So it's banned in France. That's arrogance. Oh yes, that's arrogance. So Allah could not be speaking about the Western Christian and tell that to the schoolboy. But something more. This side of the world, the Orthodox Christian world, they never had an agenda of ruling the world. No. Never. They don't have their military bases all over the world, 600-700 military bases all over the world. They don't control every single naval port in the world. No. They don't have an agenda of ruling, establishing their political dominion and military dominion over all of mankind. No. The Orthodox Christians don't have that arrogance. But these do have it. But that's not all. When Allah said, you will most certainly find those who are closest in love and affection for you to be a people who say, we are Christians. What does it mean? Answer, these are a people who would proudly identify themselves as Christians. Proudly identify themselves as Christians. We are Christians. Their primary loyalty is to Christianity. That is the implication. Qalu inna Nasara. Who are those Christians today? Not Western Christianity, where you have been secularized. So your religion is now your private affair. As for when you go home and for Sunday morning in the church, the rest of the time, the state is in control. So we are Americans. We are French. We are Germans. Not we are Christians. So this is the way Allah is helping the schoolboy to recognize, to eliminate this part of the Christian world. That these are not the ones that Allah is speaking about. Then who are those who He's speaking about? This side of the Christian world looks very much to be the people Allah is referring to. Are you going to contradict the Quran because of blood-stained history for 600-700 years? Is that your methodology? That history can contradict the Quran? I think they got homework to do in Bosnia. They got homework to do in Albania, and in Kosovo, and in Macedonia, and in Montenegro, and in Serbia. You got homework to do. You cannot use history to contradict the Quran. The Quran is the word of Allah. It is the Quran which has to be used to interpret history. So now you can understand why the Ottoman Empire waged ceaseless wars of aggression and oppression, unjust wars on the Orthodox Christians for 500-600 years, to create a legacy of hatred and bitterness for Islam. If Imran Hosein was an Orthodox Christian living in that part of the world, I would hate Islam. I would consider Islam to be the religion of the oppressor. I would despise Islam. That's how I would feel. Why can't they understand? But the minute you go to the Orthodox Christians and you tell them the Ottoman Empire was an oppressor, and that was not Islam. The Ottoman Empire was created by Dajjal, empowered by Gog and Magog, and used 500-600 years of bogus jihad to try to sabotage what Allah had ordained in the Quran. That these are the people who will be closest in love and affection for you. That is what happened at that time. Because when our people were being persecuted and being killed, the Prophet ﷺ told them, go to Abyssinia. There's a just king. Allah will put it in his heart to protect you. And the first hijrah was to Orthodox Christianity. And when Makkah sent their people to try to get the slaves repatriated, no, the king said, no, I will never do that. I'll never give them up. And so we see love and affection at that time amongst the Orthodox Christians. Today, after 1400 years, once again, the Jews have become what they were at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. This did not happen for 1,000 years. For more than 1,000 years, the Jews lived amongst us Muslims in peace and in mutual respect. Oh yes. It is only after the Zionist movement was established in 1897, only then that we now see the Jews re-emerging to be what they were at that time, a people who have the greatest hatred and enmity and hostility for Islam. And of course, tell the schoolboy for me, Allah is not speaking about all Jews. No, there are Jews who stand up to the oppressor. But Israel today is the greatest oppressor state in the world. Worse even than the United States. That's terrible. And at the same time that Israel and the Jews have become the greatest oppressors, hatred and enmity for Islam at this time, so too another people who are built on shirk, they are also displaying the same hatred and enmity and hostility. Who are they? It is those who control power in modern Western civilization. They're waging war on Islam and they call it war on terror. They're waging war on Islam and they call it war on terror. So at the same time that this is happening, the Quran is saying that you will find a Christian people who will now become closest in love and affection for you. This is your book speaking, the Quran. This is the proper, correct methodology which is being used to explain the Quran. If I am wrong, you must tell me what is right. You cannot simply say that Imran is wrong